Hi, I'm Ben.
And I'm MP. We love the ocean, so we decided to make it our home by buying a massive wooden schooner, which is unfortunately sinking.
A lot of people believe our boat is doomed, but we refuse to settle on that thought, and we are willing to do whatever it takes to bring it back to its former glory.
Join us on this refurbishing journey and wish us luck.
Não vai passar a barca do cara aqui. Vou botar pra cá pra não quebrar, né? Não quebrar a bicha aí.
So I don't know if you can notice a difference about the front of this boat, except a good hint would be that there's a massive piece of wood supporting against the trailer that wasn't here before. So with a chainsaw, it was cut over here, and over here, and over here. Now, it didn't need much encouragement because this wood is all so rotten that it just fell out easily. So what's really cool about this was causing us our biggest worries, because the boards or the planks came up to here. So from the outside it all looked quite okay, all right? Once the boards were taken off, we could see there's actually a lot of rotten eaten wood over here. So if you can see over here, this is where I was trying to close the hole of this screw, thinking it was just coming through the screw. But looking from the side now, you can really see all the holes that was allowing it to come through. This is also going to be mended. See, the first cut's been made, as this is also all quite eaten. So here, this piece of plywood behind, and an estimate of where the wood should be has been drawn on it. So that piece of plywood can be taken to the workshop, where the new piece can be cut based on measurements of the boat, but also based on the stencil or the drawing that has been made on that plywood. That piece didn't need two cuts to fall out. One was already broken, the second was just cut and the wood fell out.
We have this big piece of wood that comes all the way from here to that tip there, and is the piece that's holding the shaft of our prop. We saw they had some ship wormholes, and we were seeing if we could save it or not. The holes, even though they are in a complicated place, most of them don't touch the shaft in the inside, so water wouldn't come from them. But here on top we can see that the wood connecting to the frames is rotten, like really rotten, and we just realized that we cannot save this piece. So now we are working on how to take it off, because we need to remove the prop, we need to remove the whole shaft to be able to remove the piece of wood, but also we are being held by this, so removing it would be complicated. So it's a lot of we are talking a lot to decide how we're going to do this now.
So there are a lot of people around us right now trying to figure out what the next steps are. Firstly, we're going to remove the propeller, try and free up the prop shaft, take all the metal pieces off so it's just wood. Before we do anything severe, removing anything, we need to build some support for the back part of the boat. We have some already, but we're really going to have to build some support because a lot of weight's going to be shifted around, so that's a very important thing to do. So the propeller has been removed and it is confirmed now that some of those holes that you saw in the side actually went through to the prop shaft. So long term, even if we manage to shut the holes now, I think eventually they would have opened anyway, and that would have been an extra water infiltration. So I'm happy we decided to make this decision. It's a big job though. It's going to take a long time. It's going to cost a lot, but it's safe. And while we're on land and the keel has been removed, let's replace this, because when the keel's back on, the keel will be stuck, well, nailed, screwed to the bottom of this part, and it will be a lot harder to remove it if we were to do it somewhere else. So let's do this here. Pra fora, pra dentro ou pra fora? Aí. Aí, vai cair aqui em cima também, ó. Pera aí. Vai descer pra cá, vai. Ah, vai, pai. Agora vai tirar no carro. Vai no carro. Olha muito, cair. Vai. Aguenta aí, aguenta aí. Vai, mais um pouquinho, vai. Vai, mais um pouquinho, vai. Agora vai pra lá. Vai. Pera aí, Catu, pera aí.
here. Hop, over here. Đấy. Đấy. Vai hiên.
So we had to remove the rudder completely in order to remove the shaft of the prop, because the shaft is very long, it has to come straight, and the rudder was on the way. So now we're working on this, but as we removed the rudder, we started considering some new options for the rudder, maybe a hydraulic one. Then that would allow us to have an autopilot on the boat, which is amazing. So now we are looking at the rudder with new eyes, but for now the focus is here, taking the prop shaft out so we can remove this rotten wood and replace it for a new one.
It's not all rotten. Lots of it is good,
that's
but
true.
the problem is that we have these holes, which we didn't like in the first place, but we could fill them.
We can fill most of them, it's just that
Here's
this one goes all the way to the shaft, and another one on the other side as well. The other ones are shallow, so they wouldn't be a problem, but the ones that go all the way there might cause an infiltration. And not just that, but here the junction of this piece with the frames is also rotten. Considering those things, as we are here, we don't want to regret later not changing it now.
it would have been one fix over here, one fix over here because that's been cut out, another fix over there, and that's just not how we want to fix our boat. Before we do anything behind here, we're just going to build a few supports to hold the back of the boat up, because we are going to remove a very important part of boat structure wise. So we are going to have a few of these holding a few, put in a few places to hold the back up. So let's start the destruction or the removal of this piece. But to do that, another board has to be removed, another plank. That way we'll have more access to the piece that has to be removed. There's a massive piece of wood down there. Sorry for the noise, that has also been removed. That has been dropped out of the front of our boat. As you can see, we almost don't have a front anymore because the keel was removed a while ago, and as we decided the keel's off, we might as well replace that, because once the keel is on, it's going to be tough to replace later, and that was why there was so much water coming in the front of our boat. So that is something we definitely don't want. Let's go away from here, because that sounds quite loud for you guys. Here's a part of the front of our boat which has already been sawn off, and we are very happy to see that the wood under it is in a very good condition. So this is going to be a good mend. this rotten piece of wood has been removed, they can start taking the shape of this coralge proa, start making a new one. Mission impossible. Getting a piece of wood that has no more shape, to try and find out what shape to cut to make a new piece. Guessing where all the pieces that have been rotten away should go. What are you guys doing?
We are talking about electrics.
What electrics?
This.
Explain. Explain
So
yourself.
We're thinking of the planning of the electric system of the boat, all the 12 volts, trying to calculate the consumption so we know how many batteries we will need and what we're going to have on board and how we're going to make those solutions. Once we know how many batteries we will need, because we know our consumption, then we need to know how to charge them.
Cheating there. Good luck. I'm gonna go down now and see how they're destroying our boat a bit more.
Okay.
So this piece goes from here to behind that plank. So it's quite an important. So far everything's been going quite good. Lots of the wood has been removed to clear up space to take all this out. However, this is not budging. This has been in here and has gotten so tight that it is not moving. The only thing that's moving when hitting it is this slime that's coming out from dead worms or I don't know what. It's disgusting. So that screw did not come out. So it's not moving. They're laughing with us. So this isn't moving, wasn't moving, so they cut a piece out, hammered it like hell. By removing this screw, it's the only way that this is going to come out. It's the only way that that's going to come out and finally work. So before they were hammering it from inside here down outwards. Now this nail is very stubborn, and as you can see, this is not a very comfortable place to be. So they've hit enough through to cut off a piece on the other side, and now they're hammering it up this way. No matter what you're fixing, there's always some parts that slow down due to stubborn screws or bolts. Almost all these screws and nails for the rudder have been taken out. Some more aggressively than others, but that was needed. Now the last one, we hope, is this one. This goes through to the water cupboard underneath, and that's a very easily accessible screw to work with. You would have thought that a bigger boat had easier places of access to bolts and screws, but not at all. This is looking like progress. The stencil is in place. The frame has also been made already. Now we're just gonna make them for 1, 2, 3 more, 4 more, and he's gonna hammer and break more. I thought this was progress, but destruction. Tira esse aqui. That's coming up. Jamming some wedges in there. Almost. Concentrado, William.
Tá afiado. Quer que eu cante café com esse cambal? Quero 100 reais se eu ganhar.
Aí eu So another beautiful day in midsummer's Brazilian day.
We hope you enjoyed the video. We were ready to start rebuilding the boat, but we couldn't. But next video you'll see that the rebuild will start getting more in shape.
Yeah, so we would like to thank a bunch of people. So Vincent, thanks for donating actually to the carpenters. We have managed to give them a nice beer and barbecue on top of that as well.
Yeah, that was very nice.
And also Bob and Pirata for donating.
Yeah,
Again, thank you so much.
Thanks for being so generous with us again.
And of our new patrons.
Yeah, we reached 100 patrons and we can't believe it.
That.
We are so thankful and over the moon.
We hope you enjoy the extra content because you guys know what the boat actually looks like now. So
yeah.
Let's head over here. So we want to thank firstly Cliff,
Ken,
Howard,
Andy,
thanks for Ryan,
Jeff,
thanks Simon,
thank you Michael,
and again thank you Vincent,
and thank you Bob and Pirata.